And we are live. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good
Hi,
evening.
good evening,
Yeah.
everyone. Good afternoon from Germany.
Yes, that's
Those
right.
those coming live from Germany. So, most of us here are from Singapore, and it's our Money Go Live, where we share a business opportunity, and at the same time, we talk about real conversations, where day to day, we are facing day to day problems, and that's why we are looking for alternatives rather than just our 9 to 5. Okay, so as we all know, things are getting expensive. Okay, um, just like just, I mean, when they were waiting for me, I was actually booking my air ticket for a year-end trip for my family. Just few weeks ago, we were checking the price. Okay, and it's like literally we are watching the price went up every week for that price ticket. So uh, I don't know, is it because of the war that's uh, uncertain? Don't know whether it's ended or it's still ongoing, right? But it's somehow affecting the oil price and a lot of our day-to-day expenses, I would call. Okay, then the topic will come, you know, as I don't know whether this is part of inflation, but this is more of the man-made that cause our rise in the cost of living, right? But then our salary, if you are working 9 to 5, right, may not may not be increasing like weekly. Well, how I wish my 9 to 5 pay is increasing as per the cost of living increase, right? So that's why we are into uh, as we share this, last month topic we talked about retrenchment. So this month we are talking about retirement. Okay. Um, Firstly, for myself, I'm Janice from Singapore. I never thought about retirement before because I think back then when I stepped into the corporate, my only thought was continue to work until the day I cannot work. As in maybe 60 plus, 70, I don't know. Uh, because in Singapore, our government gradually will increase the retirement age as well. I'm not sure in Japan or Germany, like Miyako-san, does the retirement age increases as the years go by?
I think Miyako-san, you are muted.
Sorry, hello. Your question about the Germany and the Japan to get retired.
Does the
Yeah.
retirement age get increase year by year?
Um. Yes, as in Germany, as long as in Germany, it's many people want to retire as soon as possible. But the pension to get the pension is all in later. So we have to wait until 67 years old. So, but many people wanted to earlier to retire, so they can save the money, or yeah, they so that they can go retired early enough. In Japan, it's different. They want to work after the retirement because of the financial problem, and also, just they want just to be active. They want to just keep working in Japan, so a little bit different. But
Mm.
many people are really worried about after the retirement in Germany and in Japan too about the financial problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
So in Singapore, I think eh, I don't know whether is it the government thinks that the the age of Singaporeans being healthy has increased so they increase the retirement age. So in other words, they also think that people should keep working in order to keep healthy, right? But actually, life is not just working, right? I mean, continue working, there's constraints. Constraint in terms of if you honestly, I still want to see the world, okay? Right? I still want to travel, and there's so much places that I can go to really see the difference and not just always in the Asian country. Okay, so in the mindset, if I want to travel further, maybe Europe, maybe to Germany, just to be with you. The long part, I probably wanted to spend more time, more months there, and but if I'm in a work, then my constraint will be the amount, the number of leave I can take, right? So, but then taking into consideration, if I want to and retire early and to travel the world, then my health have to be good lah, right? I cannot be 60s, 70s, like now my parents is 70 and 75. Their problem is actually walking long distance, right? After working, like we travel to Japan and Taiwan, and typically every day we need to walk 10, 20 over steps, on 20 over 1,000 steps, right? But for them, consistently they will say, oh, cannot walk already now, and that makes the journey. We have to make it more relaxed in a way. Cannot be too taxing in terms of everyday work, how we walk, right? Because of the age. So that's why when we talk about retirement, what's the plan? I mean, before that, I really never planned, right, for myself. Okay, because with just my 9 to 5, I think I cannot retire early. That's number one. Because the the paid salary cannot afford me to have more savings to, in another words, make me retire earlier. Okay, so then why am I thinking about retirement now? Okay, because I have a plan B. Because I started something that actually will help me to plan ahead, right? So then that's why uh, starting this digital business actually helped me change my perspective towards retirement. Okay, so just about myself. Plus, I have two young children, uh, and of course, I don't know whether they will continue on to uni or whether they want to further study. These are uncertain because they probably at this stage of mind they are not mature enough to think that far. Okay, or probably result wise I won't know. Okay, because they are also not academic. Okay, so with this business aside, while I'm still working on my 9 to 5, I managed at least to have my husband retired first, right? Because he hasn't been working. So, and then next is my own retirement plan. If I want to um, do it like by 55, is it too early? I don't know. Actually, aim when I share this with my friends, my secondary school friends, they was like, wow, really? That's very early, so envy, right? But the difference is, I think they can also do it. And on day to day, we also talk about our cost of living, retirement topics, right? But when you are just talking versus you talk, you action, and you have plan, there's a difference. Yeah. Okay, so that's my sharing for today. Let's hear from like Shepin. What I mean when you think about retirement, what was your journey towards this topic?
Okay, thanks Janice for sharing. Yeah. Before actually I have a plan for my future. Retirement was something that actually weigh heavily on my mind. Although I'm just like in my mid 40s, like it's like something that I wouldn't like talk about because retirement somehow seems a bit far for me. But something there's something that I did. I don't know whether your have anyone actually who are like, except for Miyako, I have done this before. You log into your CPF account, then you check your bank saving, you dig into the cash value of an insurance policy, then you start to take all this value, plug into Excel, and then you start to calculate. Then you say, wow. Not wow because the amount is too big. The wow is because if I stop like working today, right, will this be actually enough? Enough for how many years? 1 year, 2 year, 20 year, or 30 year? How long is our shelf life? So I don't know whether have you all done that before or not, but I have
But,
lah,
but
honestly, because like when we are in the 20s, right, Singaporean, like, we thought like, oh, you have to buy insurance, you have to buy what saving plan, whatever, endowment plan, all this, right? But then the amount back then, 20 years, and back then and now is really like, 20k in 20 years ago seems very big, maybe 20k now, what, so small. So after doing all the calculation, you want to get a peace of mind, right? But then, it end up you don't get a peace of mind, it isn't there anymore. End up you have like more questions, because the truth is, right, none of us really know how long we will live. Then the healthcare cost, although, we say that we have a healthcare plan, there is a rider. Now they took away the rider, all this kind of thing. So, and the price, every time our daily necessity is like increasing, how much is like, that's when I know, like, retirement is not about, hitting certain age, like, whether you are in your 40s, 50, or what, right? Actually, maybe some people is like they are already start thinking, 30 people in their 30s already start thinking, because these days the people talk about the quality of life, they want to enjoy, they do not like want to work, till the real retirement age, like our parents. Our parents, they actually say, so long I can work, I want to work to, the end. But then for the youngsters now, it's not about, working to like 60, 65, 70 to the, retirement age. So maybe retirement to me is something like deeper. For me, it's more about, the independency that we have. So when, example, we do have children. So when our children grow up, right, and then have their own career, own family, what do you actually hope for, right? For me, is that I don't want them to worry whether I have money to spend, for my during my, my retirement. So we do not want our children to be responsible to, take care of us financially, like, our parent in the olden days. More children you have, more secure you have, more secure is your life. But things doesn't actually work that way now. So yeah, so I want my children to be able to focus on their, their dream, their family, if possible lah. I still want to, have a position to where you can actually bless them, example, like, buying dinner for them, bringing them for a short trip, not expecting your children to pay for you. So that's for me, what independence looks like for my retirement. Yeah. So that's my sharing for today. So yeah, back to you, Jenny.
yeah, I think it's important. Uh, like for now, though I really enjoy bringing my parents together with me, and but they are so-called semi-retired, right? So basically, what they are earning, based on the home-based F&B, it is only sufficient for their day-to-day. Um, we don't talk about overseas trip. So to include them is a high cost, additional cost, But then, without them, I still feel that if they can walk, I would rather they really also join me and explore the world, because in their younger days, they were also working hard in the job. They didn't really have the opportunity to travel to many places as well. Okay. So let's hear from Josephine. What's your thoughts about retirement planning?
Sure, thank you, Janice. Okay, so for myself, right, when I was younger, retirement honestly felt so far away that I never really thought about it. But as years went by, life get busier as a full-time working mom, raising my children, taking care of my family. Every day was getting through the next task. Like retirement was always something I thought I could not, I could think about it, some other days. But as I grow older, right, I started to ask myself about some difficult questions like, what life will I how will my life look like when I retire? Or maybe like will I still be working in the same environment? Will I still have the energy to keep up with the fast working pace? Yeah, so technology is also evolving so quickly. The way we work today is very different from when how we started like during our time. So sometimes I wonder like in another 10 or 15 years, can I still adapt to all these changes or not? So after all this thought, right, being honest, I don't want to reach retirement age and still worrying about whether I have enough or not. I don't want to work simply because I have no choice. I want to work because I choose to. So that was one of the biggest reason that I started looking for something that I could build alongside my full-time job. So 4 years ago, when I came across this digital business, at first I wasn't looking to replace any incomes or leave my job. So I'm just looking for a backup plan, something that could slowly grow when I continue working, something that didn't require me to be an expert or have the necessary business background or anything, and it can be flexible enough that I could build along my full-time job and my when I spending time with my family. So looking back today, right, I think that I've made the right choice to be still working as a full-time and enjoy what I'm doing every day now. Yeah, so knowing that can build another source of income that give a different kinds of peace of mind, so it gives you confidence to prepare for the futures, instead of leaving it to chance until when the retirement age is here, then you get panicky about what to do, do we have enough for the retirement and things like that. Yeah, so having the freedoms to decide how I can spend my time, maybe continue working like maybe a slower paced environment, or maybe spend more time traveling, having more time with the family, things like that. So the point is that I hope I want the decisions to be mine instead of leaving it into no choice, I have to work, that kind of decisions. Yeah, so the best time to prepare for retirement isn't like 5 years before you reach the retirement age. But if you're still earning, you are still healthy, you still have time on your side, then I think that's the time that you should start building a plan B, before the retirement age comes. So yeah, to give you more choices, when you come to the age of retirement, or maybe you can have a choice to have an early retirement, that's even best, right? Yeah, so that's what I have for today. Yeah, pass back to Janice.
Okay, thank you, Josephine, for sharing. I think it's really important to think earlier, especially when we are in good health, because tendency, we never know whether not good health will come, honestly, right? This something that we cannot take control, something that we won't know because it just happened inside our body. Even though we may look okay, but these days the leprosy is very common, right? And I've been feeling quite a few things in my family, in my with my boss, uh, uh, and some of my friends, um, relatives, things like that. Okay, so let's hear from far away first before I go to Wei. Let's hear from how people that outside the Asian country what they think about retirement. I know like Miyako just now has said, right, like Japanese is different because as they are older they want to work to keep themselves mentally moving, physically in use, right? But um, yeah, I do find Japanese very healthy. Is it because they walk a lot on day to day, or I don't know? Like they seems to be healthier. For people in Japan, So what's your thought about retirement? Miyako-san?
Yes, okay. I am also the generation of the retirement already. So 60, I'm 63 years old, But before I started this online business, especially when I was 40s or 50s, I was really worried about after the retirement because pension was not enough, and we need a lot of money for my family, for my house, or for flying to Japan. And I'm all every day I was really worried, and always thinking how can I save enough money for the retirement, but it was impossible. And there is no solution, and always at the end, I was thinking I have to work. I must work until 70 or 80s, so that I can keep my the standard of living. And many Japanese people are doing like that way. After the retirement, they can find another job, whatever. Yeah, sometimes a cleaner, sometimes very easy work, but they are very glad to find out such a kind of jobs for the older people. And many people are working until 70 or 80s, And I was also thinking that, well, when I work, maybe I can get the money and I can live with the family. So that I cannot thinking about my retirement when I was 40 or 50s. But yeah, when I start this online business has totally changed. There is no worried about my retirement because I have this kind of online business, and there's another income, and we can plan our future. W- uh, yeah, is that it doesn't problem at all. Over 60 or 70 or whatever, they can create the future. When I've learned about the mindset, and I think it was great, and I got a piece of my mind about the retirement. So then I would try to change my mind, not to work hard, but on the other side, I was 64. Oh no, I'm 63, but still young. And you know, um, uh, I really feel like still not 50 or the 40. And I'm still good health. I have a still good health and have a lot of, interest to everything or new technology to learn. It's much fun to me. So when I get to 60, I was thinking that, wow, I'm 60 but still young, and it is very pity to get to go retirement just for the freedom. So then I decided to work, but not hard, and I can choose what I want. That my great choice, that I still working with this online business, with another my job, and it must be not hard, but so that I can live good, and without any worries. So I would say that to think about retirement after 60s or 60s or 70s was good, but don't think too much, but you should be smart to live well for your future when 60 or the 70s. And then this online business must be a good solution to to create your own future for older ages. That I wanted to say that.
So what I'm
Thank you.
hearing is typically for Japanese, it's born with the mindset that they work for until their old age,
Uh.
and it's culture in a way. Uh, so now the mindset is, I think yes, you are correct in terms of you should correct this mindset. Okay, because I think traditions, there's a lot of traditions in the past, but modern days today, it's so different. I think because of technology, because of how in the infrastructure, so much thing has changed. That's why mindset should also change and not stick to the traditional way. Like just like how we think, how we will also mm, share with people, the traditional business is not working, right? Okay. So now let's hear from Wei Yi, and how she thinks about retirement plan. So Wei Yi, she works in the financial planning industry. No? Yes?
Not financial planning. Yeah, it's a finance industry lah. I mean more investment side, not
Yes.
financial planning
Then,
or insurance. No, yeah.
okay, so I don't know whether you are in the back end or like typically in your industry is where they or not you or they will actually make plans for retirement, right? Investment for retirement, things like that.
Yeah,
Not
more for
invest.
more. I think I mean my job is more on the back end, not really like facing the customer. Yeah. But my industry, I mean, finance is more on investment. I mean, it's kind of like investment to earn more money. Yeah. Of course, they are all earn more money is for so that you can have a
More
uh
options.
re- yeah, more option or retirement early. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, so when I talk about retirement, I think also interestingly, also recently, I mean, of course, when we say like we talk about our topics, right? I mean, how we see retirement beyond savings. So I think we all, in the past, we think that retirement is that we save enough money so that we don't need to work to live our life, right? Yeah, I think that's the some of the old mindset. So, but I think the reason change is, I think also what just now Shopping also mentioned also remind me that in my recent one of my trip, actually I met one of the what meet someone. He he is actually in his 30s, but he's already retired. So I said, wow, really 30s, I would say he already retired. Yeah. But of course it retire, of course, then it helped me to change your thinking that retirement is not talking about you stop working. But I think in retirement is more on talking about your financial position that you are able to live the life that you want, not based on your uh, that you need to work. I mean, not that your income is not depends on your time. So actually, the person retired because he doesn't need to work because he also have a passive income to support his life. And of course, he say he doesn't live a very luxury life. He know what he wants, so he is able to retire early. That he's no need to live a life that depends on his work. Yeah, so he still can do things that he like to do. Yeah, so I think retirement is not about age, but it's more about your financial position. Yeah, so it's not about you have enough money. We also talk about how do we know how much we need for our retirements, because like we all say, right, I mean, things have changed. I mean, inflation, so even you plan now, you may not be able to plan well for your so sure that you this amount of money you save can support your retirements. Yeah. So so I think retirements they help me to see that it's not of course, we talk about saving is important. We still need to save, but there is a limitation. So we have to learn to have a income that can support us even when we are not working, right? Yeah. So that's why people say you have a asset that can help you to generate income. You say we have passive income. If you have rental to collect, then you can you can retire. You don't need to work because you have passive income to support you. Yeah. So I think it's small. Like you need to build something that can produce the income for you. Even though you don't work, you still have the income to support your life. So I think I see that. Yeah. So retirements. That's why I think we all here. We also learn about this. Uh, online business. Yeah. So of course that we need to do some investment for us to in order for us to able to build asset that we can produce a income. Yeah. So like for us that we invest in ourselves, we become I mean we do this online business, there are some investment that we have to put in so that we build this business that can help us to create a income in future, even now or even future, that can support our life. Yeah. So yeah, so I see that yeah, so I think we all have shared earlier lah. I mean, retirement is not to only start planning when you are nearing your retirement. You say yeah, retirement age. Yeah, so we have to start planning early. So we start the investment in ourselves. We do this online business. Yeah, so that we create something that enable us to produce the income for us, even though we don't need to work, and we are able to give us the choice to we want to live the life that we want. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I
Even when
think
the
that's
moment
our
you
share. Yeah, I think we all have shared more of it. Yeah. So I think it's talking about retirement is about choices lah, and it's not about age, and it's not about yeah, it's not about age. It's about choices that we can live the life
the
that we
moment just now you share when that guy you saw actually retired at the age of 40, my eye actually, wow, cannot believe it. Okay, but I think um individually, right, when a person really think far ahead, the actions that they do now will impact uh, the time frame, right?
Yep.
For myself, of course, I only come to think about this uh, when I get to know about a business plan that can help me beyond my 9 to 5. Honestly, if I'm just stick with my 9 to 5, right, I probably will just continue to work until I don't know when. Maybe my health couldn't take it. Maybe the company feels that I'm too old. Maybe, I don't know, right? But that's that moment without a plan, and like uh, every people may not have their plan ahead, or crafting something for themselves, right?
Yep.
Which then I think now people should actually start thinking far ahead. No matter where you are at your age, right? Doesn't matter where you are, the 30s, 40, 50, or 60s, right? Even if you're at your 60s, you can also plan something in a short time frame.
Yep.
Okay, so why we are sharing this is because maybe you have not been thinking, maybe you thought about it, but you have no solution. You can actually check out what we are doing and have been doing. Um, that's why we are doing sharing, right? Because it's something that has no obligation, but as such, at least it gives you the opportunity to review and see if it helps you. Okay, so that's it for our July business sharing. Now we'll come back in August with more day-to-day topic, and hope or if you you resonate with you want to follow us more, you can actually follow us in our social media page to hear more from us, or see how we actually do this business on a day-to-day. Okay, so that's it for today. Have a good evening from those in Asian, and have a good rest of the afternoon and evening for those in Germany. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.